to this special program brought to you by Zimba Television Network in partnership with UN Women, the Spotlight Initiative, and the Civil Society Reference Group. This morning, we kickstart your Saturday morning with dance with Zumba. We are shaking off gender-based violence through dance. A very pleasant Zumba morning to you all. Now, why Zumba? Why dance? Why exercise? So the Spotlight Initiative came up with this concept of reaching women through something that they would feel would be their comfort zone, where they're in their comfort zone, where they can openly discuss matters that concern them, openly discuss matters that they would want to be addressed in their lives, as well as share some of the experiences that they have gone through in their day-to-day lives. And of course, this year, as we celebrate women internationally, the theme has been breaking the bias. So before we go into the Zumba session this morning, we'll start with Audrey Charamba, who is the chairperson of the Civil Society Reference Group, and she will just give us the opening remarks as well as a brief background leading towards this morning's event. Good morning, Audrey.
Good morning, Munashe. Thank you for having us.
Of course, thank you for joining us to come and shake it off this morning. You can proceed with your opening remarks.
Thank you, Munashe. Good morning and welcome, viewers from all over, hopefully across the world. Welcome to this beautiful Saturday morning of the 7th of May, which is just the morning before Mother's Day, which we celebrate worldwide. But we're thinking that why would we want to celebrate Mother's Day when we have no respect for women and safety and security in different spaces? So yes, we are here to commemorate the 3rd edition of Shaking Off GBV through Zumba. The Zumba idea started, like I say, three years ago. The idea was to say when the spotlight was brought on ending violence against women, there was then need to say, how do we get the appropriate attention of one and all, corporate, private sector, civil society, the ordinary woman who is plowing her fields in the rural areas, the ordinary woman in the township who wants to just get her act together and feed her children. So we thought that perhaps by doing something that could be a space that enables somebody to look into themselves, then they could kind of shake it off. So yeah, we anticipate that for the next hour and a half, you're able to join us in shaking it off. Now, in terms of a bit of background, the many millions of women and girls across the globe still remain trapped in lives of hardship and fear by discrimination and abuse perpetuated by practices and structures that are biased toward men. You find that gender inequalities are reflected in the daily realities of women and girls, including the disproportionate number of women among those living in poverty, women's greater likelihood of living with violence in their homes when compared to men. You find that women lack control over their bodies, and therefore there are various violations of sexual and reproductive rights, inequalities in access to quality education at all levels, and inequalities in the enjoyment of social and economic rights, including access to decent work and equal pay, access to and control over assets, and universal social protection coverage over their life cycle. You'll find that in the last 2 years, when we've had this COVID pandemic, women have been locked down in their various spaces with men, and the incidences of violence, gender-based violence, have really been very, very high, reportedly high. Not just in Zimbabwe, but across the world, because of the failure to probably negotiate safer spaces and a lot of other factors, including the loss of income. So the Spotlight Initiative was launched in 2019 across the globe, and the Spotlight Initiative recognizes that while there are partners who may be civil society organizations and corporate sector who may be in a position to implement together with government, there is need for a civil society reference group whose role is to sort of check the blind spots, sort of advise all these implementing partners, and sort of say, this is where we're doing it right and this is where we're missing it, and have our finger on the pulse in order to enable the current responses to ending violence against women. So the Spotlight Initiative Country Program Civil Society Reference Group comprises 16 members, and we work throughout the program cycle, communicating with the IPs, the implementing partners, communicating with government players, as well as other non-governmental organizations that are in the fight against violence against women. And we recognize that gender inequality is the most pervasive form of inequality around the world, and a pressing human rights concern with inequalities between women and men, boys and girls. And these are playing out across all areas of life in every country. And because these situations are cutting across both public institutions as government systems and the private sphere, such as families and households, it's important for girls and women of diversified ethnicity groups across religion, across age, across income, and across immigrant status, disability, and sexual orientation to continue lagging behind in terms of development. So we are here, Munashe, and we are really excited about kicking off GBV and breaking the bias. Hashtag, let's break the bias.
Let us break the bias. Thank you very much, Audrey. Now, of course, everyone is waiting to, kickstart this Zumba session, so I won't take up any more time. Up next, we'll call up Zoro. I know we've all been waiting for Zoro, as we all know him, Zoro the trainer. So please come up to the stage, Zoro, as we kickstart our Zumba session.
So who's joining me today? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You guys, are you joining me? Why are you looking so serious? It's party time. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I think by the time I'll finish this class, I'll be having a bicep. It's making things heavy. That man poga la peoma, eh? Hey guys, let's move. Don't space. No crowding. But trust me, you go die. So before we start, I'm going to ask you some questions. All right? Is there anyone with injuries? You're all fit. Les cœurs. Give me that biscuit. Shake it up. Pop. Feet up. Shake it up one more time. I can do that squat. Stay down. Stay down. Remember, facial expression is very important. No serious face. Give me the power knee. Nice and easy. Now switch it up, switch it up, switch it up. Take it up, take it up. Cross punch. Punches from the chin. Leg here. Go travel. Travel up. Travel it up. Travel it up. Give me four more. Push up. Punch up. Give me that squat one more time. Stay down. Stay down. Put all your weight on the heels. Fire the glutes. And smash. Power knee. We call it the domo. Now switch. Check it up, check it up, check it up. Cross punch. Are we good? Are we good? Hill. Trouble it up. Nice one. Give me that squat. Stay down. I hope you guys will be able to walk after this. What are you talking? Finally, zip. Switch it up. Take it up. Now cross punch. Check it up. Cross punch.
Thanks God. On m'a dit laisse, c'est pas pour toi. La musique c'est pour ceux qui font cours à l'INSAC. Ça a été dur, ah je crois-moi. Y'a des gens qui sont prêts à tout pour te rendre plat. Mais escargot cogne pas caillou. Jamais. Je suis allé jusqu'au bout du chemin. Maintenant je suis là. Ouais je suis là. Et tu veux prendre ma place? Non je suis jamais prêt. Jamais prêt. Je suis jamais prêt. Je suis jamais prêt. Et toi Lago, oui toi. Tu m'as largué dans les moments où ça n'allait pas. Moi qui avais mis ma gamme sur toi. Tu m'as donné un de ces gourmands qu'on ne vit qu'une fois. Mais escargot cogne pas caillou. Jamais. Je suis allé jusqu'au bout du chemin. Maintenant je suis là. Ouais je suis là. Et tu veux revenir? Non je suis jamais prêt. Je suis jamais prêt. Shadow Chris Beat. Je suis jamais prêt.
Make sure your water is close by me. You're about to die. Don't die on us. Is it ready, Tony? Please, can you play the second song? And look in the camera and smile. What are you joking? Your hips. And up. 1 and 2. Keep your arms here. Now I want you to push forward and nice one. Because we rock you. We rock you. Bring it up, bring it up. Bring it up. Stay with me, stay with me. Keep turning. Now fast. Now faster. Bring your knees up high. Stand up. Keep your back. Nice one. Up. Arms under. Ahead. So guys, I want you to tap the floor and roll. Now get ready to pump it up. Push. And get ready to jump. Push. Push. Spice it up. Da. Move your one more time. Bring your knees up. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 senior after class 2. 1 and 2. Push. Now let's set the arms up. Above. Punch up. You're gonna love this. So this one. Now shake it up like a toe shaker. Shake, 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 shake. Nice one. Arms under. So guys, this was just the warm up, né? Yes. Touch. Cross punch. Take it up 4. Cross punch. Move. Double it up. Double. I told you love this one. Shaku. Shake it up. Shake it up. Okay, now take it up. Take it up. Punch up. End up. Fine, fine. Yeah. Roll, roll up. Roll up. Roll up. Drop. Punch down. One more time. Some sort of a... Anyway. Sit. Get roll. Roll it up and tap the floor. Travel it up. Trap, up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's breathe in through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Move your hips. Single double. You ready to shock? Ta, ta. Crisscross. 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 Criss. Give me, back it. Bravo. Nice one, Kenny, I can see you. Give me crisscross again. Aish. Crisscross up. Crisscross up. You should see the guys behind the cameras. They're dancing now. Sit. We go travel. Now raise your right hand. Let's cut it down. Cut it down. Travel up. Left hand. Cut it down one more time. Travel up. Whoa. Punch up, four. My favorite. Tiba. Aish. Now give me right leg only. Pull up. Check it up. Again, your left leg. Check it up. Johnny, give me butterfly. Let's see butterfly. Aish. Ta. Jump over. Nice. And there. Take it up and down. Take it up and down. One time. Now bounce it. Four. Let's first do that. One leg on. Right leg, let's go. Take it up. Go lower. For block up. Here. Hey. Now we go to the left leg. Let's go. Keep it up. Facial expression. Go lower. Bring it up. Punch and roll. Punch. Roll. A little lower. V step. Beat up one more time. Hold it here. I need steps forward. In it. We're gonna walk. Now high knee. Single double. Single double. You know the helicopter, eh? You ready? Give me the sign of a helicopter. Let's go. Switch the arm. Give me 4 squats. 1, 2, 3. Helicopter, double it up. And roll. A little lower. A little lower. A little lower. Step. Up. I'm there. Turn. Hold him by the collar. Bring it here. Up. V up. Hold him again. 1, 2. Punch. Roll it up. Punch. Stay down. Stay down. Each camera rent. 4 steps. High knee up. Pull up. Remember single, double. Single, double. Facial expression is very important, ne? What are you talking? Hey, give me some, girl. Pull up. Watch this part. They're gonna go. Up. Oh, hey. Look at their faces. Like what? One more. I'm there. Give me V-step. Booty circle. Tap. Beat up. Double tap. Tap. Switch. Bring your knee up. Switch. Keep your arms up. Arms up. Stay with me. Slice. Give me that lunge. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. 1, 2. Single jabra. Come Sunday. Aye, tap. I'm there. V-step. Tap. Munasha, give me a V-step. Nobody sector. Aye. Vira. Bring your knee up. Switch. Swan. Pull up. Left and slice. Line. Check out. Hey! What are you talking? Sip. Fish. Lunge and slice. Chop it. Give me the chorus. Up. Seco. Take it down. Top. Hey. Elbow, single, double. Pull up. Couple. Nice one. Give me 4 knees up. 1. Nice one. Roll again. 4 knees up. We go back to the chorus. Ta. Tickle. 2. Chin. Elbow up. Arms shoulder level. Remember, single, double. Check it up. We roll. Funny. Roll. Funnies. Zoro is tired, yo. Got your daddy. Hit. Keep up, Jora. Screw. Roll up. What is it, girl? 4 up. Zoro is tired, yo. Got your daddy. Check it up. Zoro is tired, yo. Sip. Siba. Hold on. Don't miss this one. Ah, yeah. Siba. Hey. Put it. Siba. Hey. What are you talking? We still here. Chip. I'm not easy. 2. Stay here, Michi, stay here. There you go, girl. Now I want you to flap your... Johnny, give me that. Come in. Look it up. Tish. Oh. Sir. Give me 4 again. 4 again. 4 again. Kevin. I'm here. Okay, guys, let's take it down. Lower. Shake it up. 2. Stay. Now you're gonna laugh at me. 1 leg, yeah? T. Pull up. 1 leg, yeah? Pull up. Step. Brush backward. And push. V. 4 kicks. Shake it up. 4. Here. Push your arms here. Let's go. Pull up. We're going to be right. We're going to be right. Let's go. Oh my love. Yes, Johnny, I can see you dancing. What are you talking? Tish. Cross punch and stay down. Do the circle if you can. Stay here. No punches from between. Tap. Down. Stay here. Bring your knee up. 1, 2. Arms there. Give me that lunge. Pull up. Tish. Ah. Mama Kid is in the house. What are you talking? Your pants.
Finalement, je suis un commando, je suis son bodyguard dans le game. Trop de snappers tournent autour de mon bébé, mais moi je
Now
me
look
laisse
at
pas.
the back and pump.
Que voulez-vous? Mais c'est que voulez-vous? Réguler, que voulez-vous? Mais c'est que
Punch. Punch. Punch it out. Punch it out. Chip up. Switch up. You ready? Sit up. Sit up. Sit up. Go to the center. Pull up. Go to the center. Go to the center. Go to the center. Come. Arms above your head. Arms there and lunge. Nash, give me that guara. Sibo. Tish. Guara. Wakangwara. Guara. Chika guara. Do them bend the rasta. What are you talking? Sir. Oh my love. Next song is yours. Water. Let's go. Pull up. Now give me that diamond up here. Nice one. Pound. Tira. 80. Go. Bounce again here. But I'm saying, what are you talking? Bounce again. Fish. Pull up. Bounce one more time. I'm going to choke off. Fish. Pull up. Right leg. Now take it up. Tap. Left leg. Take it up. Pull up. Kakata. Right leg. Take it. Hop. Kakata. Left leg. Fish. Samba lunge here. Huya. Fish. Chop. Fish. Slow it as it. Hey. Hands. Yes. One. Pull up. Fish. Varaged. Push. Varaged. Push. Get that one, Rakashama. Varaged it on. Tip. Arms here. 10. Go back to the chorus, ne? Kakata. Right leg. Timura. Sir. Kakata. Left leg. Take it up. Aya. Check a face here, basa. What are you talking? One more time. Siwa. See, the for sure. Aya. The for sure. Aya. Ta. Ah. Squat and punch. Give me that mambo. Squat. Mambo. Oh boy, that's it. Tip. T. Era. Pull up. T. Question. Aya. Kirangeli. Tunagarara. Siwa. Munashi. Inadele. Take this one. Let's go. Pull up.
Ici chez nous, il y a l'ambiance, le pays du Pérou, tout est toi. Ici chez nous, il y a le show, le pays du café caca. On n'est pas premier pour rien, c'est pour ça que t'as rien vu dedans. Ils nous envoient de mon lot l'ambiance, le pays du Pérou. Para mí sería un placer tener... Tú no sabes procedencia récords. You know we represent in the fight also.
Tu cuerpo, junto al mío, acariciarnos, quitarnos el frío, metiéndole al paquito, con un perreo salvaje, mete el coraje y no te rajes, paquito, metiéndole al dum dum, dándole al dum dum, grítalo, paquito, un bailoteo salvaje, métale coraje, no te rajes, paquito, metiéndole al dum dum, dándole al dum dum. Aquí no va a ser exitoso. Los de Orteguilla se juntaron lo que faltaba. Aguántense. La leyenda viviente, Yandel, el 5 estrellas, Gabriel, Farruko.
Mama Kitty's on the stage. What are you talking? What are you talking?
Buddha, Papayo, Mr. Worldwide, die.
Mama Kitty, remember you. Dance out. Ay. What a put it. Hey. Give me that way. Hey. Wait. I can't hear you. Hey. Take it down. Take it down. Take it one more time.
A mí que me importa el dinero, a mí que me importa la fama. Aquí lo que importa es salud, familia, el futuro, los niños y la fama. Estos artistas no son hombres, todavía se viven la gama. Lo que son es actores, porque le encantan el drama. That's why I say, echa para allá, todo lo malo echa para allá. Echa para allá, todo lo malo echa para allá. Echa para allá, todo lo malo echa para allá. Todo lo malo echa para allá. Sube las manos para arriba.
Put it up.
Sube las manos para arriba.
Tony say, Check it out.
Sube las manos para arriba.
Tony say, Check it out.
Sube las manos para arriba.
Man. Samba line.
Es la invasión de los latinos. Todo el mundo, bienvenido. No le gustan que siga su camino. Siempre vestido de Niro Casino. Tremenda pinta, always cookie. Graduated even though I play hooky. Negativo, positivo. Es la verdad y siempre te lo digo. Echa para allá, todo lo malo echa para allá. Echa para allá, todo lo malo echa para allá.
Mama Kitty. What are you talking? It's camarero.
Todo lo malo echa para allá. Sube las manos para arriba. Para el otro lado. Sube las manos para arriba.
Samba line.
Todo el mundo, arriba, para arriba. Con las manos para arriba. Para arriba, para arriba. Gozar la vida. Para arriba, para arriba. Con las manos para arriba. Para arriba, para arriba.
Check it.
Sube la mano para arriba.
Sigue de base.
Sube la mano para arriba.
Vete your attitude. No, but my cameraman is all over stage. Take us. What are you talking? Okay, give us slow motion. Slow motion. Hey. What are you talking? What are you talking? What a break.
We are shaking off gender-based violence through Zumba. In the studio, we've been seeing the lovely ladies shaking it off and having a really good time. So like I said earlier, the whole concept is for us to get into a safe space, into a comfort zone, and then we can also engage the conversation between the women, just to hear what these they are facing and what to hear what they're doing in society as well. So as we continue with the program, we will go back to the Zumba segment, but as we continue with the program with our interviews, up next we have Rose Muzerengi, who's just going to give us a brief presentation on breaking barriers. Rose, take it away.
Thank you so much. Yes, we are breaking barriers using Zumba. Yes, you can see I've been sweating, breaking barriers. For me, when we're dancing to Zumba, it is just a manifestation of the different forms of violence that women face. And what does it mean for civil society? What does it mean for women's organizations? What it simply means is that there's a whole range of human rights violations facing women and girls, particularly when you look at gender-based violence. And when you look at gender-based violence, women are not a homogeneous group. So we really need to come up with strategies that will ensure that women and girls in their various spaces build a people-powered movement, a girls-powered movement, a women-powered movement that will take the lead in reducing cases of gender-based violence. So what it simply means for all of us in our different spaces, the different dances of Zumba represent the different ways by which we can fight gender-based violence. So today, join us as we dance, as we shake off gender-based violence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rose. You can go with this. I enjoyed what Rose said. She said we want to take the lead in ending gender-based violence. Now, we also want to see, is this working? Are women coming up? Are they enjoying these initiatives? So up next, I'm going to call up Christine Gumunyu to give us a testimonial. Hello, Christine.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are
You
you?
can take it away.
Okay, thank you. Right, when Tsungi said, would you like to speak? I was like, what do I say? There's so much to say. So, as a survivor of gender-based violence, domestic violence specifically, I think I've had the privilege to have many years in this space as a survivor, as a speaker, and as someone who's working within the general gender space. And I think we are still miles away from achieving the ultimate goal for what we can say we can consider to be eliminating gender-based violence. Why do I say that? In as much as we can say breaking the bias, if I was to categorize the priority list of what I feel we should break, I would say number one, we would need to break stigma. Stigma is a huge issue that a lot of people take for granted. Because in as much as you can speak here and people can clap their hands, you find that you have a lot more negativity and a lot more questions or questioning why you're even putting yourself. You have people who say, why would you put yourself in a public space and discuss your private issues? But you're doing it because you're trying to save a life, you're trying to educate, and you're trying to create awareness. Number two, I would say I would prioritize creating inclusion. What does that mean? For me, the greatest lesson has been inclusion. I'm very happy to see that we have men here. Not only the cameraman, not only Zoro and his team, but we also have men who are participating in the actual Zumba. What I feel we need to change is gender-based violence issues, harassment, and gender in general need to be made into an actual curriculum. We need to start this from a young age. We can't talk about it. We actually have to educate people about it. Starting from probably, I would say, in grade 5, grade 6, grade 7. I feel that gender studies is something that should be included in our curriculum. Why? It is shocking in this day and age that you can be asked to speak in a platform regarding gender issues, and then the men will be like, but is it really? It's also about men's involvement and how they contribute towards the whole picture that we know as gender-based violence and gender issues. So imagine if we start having a curriculum of children from the age of 10, where they know that when they grow up, there's a certain way that you speak to a woman. There's a certain way that you speak to a man. What does gender mean? What is gender equality? What is gender in this world, and how do we contribute? I think we would take far, far greater strides than us. Yes, we can have all the workshops. We can dance as much as we can, and we enjoy it. But without actually making a conscious effort to educate people around these issues, we still have a very, very long way to go. So I'm happy that as a country, I feel we are taking strides, but I still advocate for education. I advocate for not only, as I said, breaking bias, but breaking stigma, breaking judgment, and also, in general, breaking patriarchy, which is another whole conversation. But for now, I think my 5 minutes is up. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, like we said, we want to continue with the discussion. We want to understand how this has been faring for women in the societies and so forth. And of course, when we talk about gender-based violence, I mean, let's not run the risk of just assuming we're talking about issues that affect women in their domestic lives only. We're talking about the corporate world. We're talking about day-to-day living, walking in the street, interactions with general people. And up next, I'm going to call up Tsungi Mnyeza. She's from the Implementing Partners, and she's going to give us a presentation on breaking the bias in the corporate world. So like I said earlier, we're not just looking at the domestic aspect only. We're also looking at how it's also affecting young women, women in general, in the corporate world as well. Hello, Tsungi.
Hello. And a very good morning. Yes, we've been sweating buckets, we've been shaking it off, and it has been exciting to be part of this initiative. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the corporate sector involvement in the Spotlight Initiative. This is a first, and this is a first of many miles ahead of collaborating in terms of addressing gender issues in the workplace. And as you rightly said, yes, we are just not domestic women. We are just not social women, but we also have professionals who are being affected in the corporate sector. I would like to just firstly congratulate the corporate sector in Zimbabwe for the many strides that we have seen. The journey is long, but a journey of 1,000 miles always starts with the first step. So there are many wins that we have had. Firstly, in terms of policy, we've had a lot of policy commitments, disciplinary commitments, grievance procedures that are supporting women within the workplace. There's also been efforts in closing the gender ratio gap that we find particularly in STEM-related professions where they were usually, male-dominated. Now we find there's a lot of women involvement. And what has been exciting about this is that there's been upstream involvement. There's also been downstream involvement, meaning that we have had our tertiary institutions being very proactive and intentional about having women in those spaces. So what does this mean about, the corporate sector? It means that we have to become a continuously evolving space that is able to accommodate women. So the issues that are currently plaguing the private sector, I would like to just pick on just a few where I think a Spotlight Initiative and the Civil Society Reference Group, we have a lot of work cut out for us. Firstly, I think the data and information gap, and already Christine mentioned the information gap pertaining to our young people. There is the similar gap in terms of informing the relevant policies that we then have prevailing in our corporate sector. There's also the gender pay gap. A lot of data is coming through the academic institutions, but particularly for Zimbabwe, we don't have enough of that data that speaks to the exact gender pay gaps that we have, the allocation of resources for gender-based roles, and issues relating to gender in the workplace. The next thing is around our policies are not adequately backed with the critical instruments as well as the critical actions, and there is also power imbalance. We still have a very thin representation of women in corporate at a very high level. Again, many strides have been made. Quota systems have been made, and we applaud that. But there's still work cut out for us in order to close that. And then, unclear and undocumented victim-friendly grievance procedures. Kiri spoke about stigma, and indeed the stigma element cuts across the genders. It's not the men who are actually stigmatizing the women. It is both men and women who are stigmatizing when it comes to people speaking out on gender-based violence or any gender discriminations. Then lastly, I think coming out of the pandemic, we have an even bigger task ahead of us around mental health in the workplace. So like you rightly said, every woman is well-rounded. Audrey, in her opening remarks, talked about how this initiative is cutting across every woman in Zimbabwe, whether you're in corporate or you are within your personal workspace. So we are a well-rounded, focused group. And what we want to see is a situation where everybody in their respective spaces are enjoying their rights to their biggest fulfillment. And with this Zumba, I must say, we have gone quite a mile in just addressing the mental health aspect. It's been really fun, and we have forgotten this very heavy week that we had behind us with schools opening and all of that. And the week ahead of us, we are pretty ready, because we have had this shake-off experience. So we would like to invite other women to partner with us and participate in this process. And with the corporate sector, there is a lot of work that is ahead of us, and we can only do this together and stop all the vices that are affecting the progression of gender empowerment in our different spaces. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tsungi. Now, as we continue with our program, it's important that we note that we have been making strides in achieving gender equality, like Tsungi has rightfully said. But at the same time, we also want to see what work is being done and how are we progressing and how are the people directly affected. So up next, I'm going to call up Limu. She'll give us a presentation on IP Spotlight work, and she's representing the young women. Come up, Pretendo, representing the young women sector, and we'll hear from her how the work that's being done has been affecting young women in particular as we continue with the program.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone who's joining us virtually. For us young women, the work that's being done or that has been done and that is continuing being done by Spotlight Initiative, it has given us young women platforms to learn more about our rights, that is our young women and girls' rights. It has also opened up platforms where we get to explore ourselves. As in now we are able to take up leadership positions, which were once said to be male-dominated spaces, right? So now we're looking at how we are now breaking the barriers, taking up spaces that once were male-dominated. Now we are speaking out and speaking against gender-based violence in our different spaces as we see how young women in our communities they become victims to different forms of violence. We are looking at intimate partner violence. We are looking as well as domestic violence. So now we are able to speak out and also help each other in terms of getting assistance from different organizations as well as government line ministries that are expertise in terms of assisting us young women. And in as much as we are getting assistance and support from Spotlight Initiative as well as their implementing partners, we continue to speak out against gender-based violence, and we continue to advocate for young women to take up leadership positions and also to break barriers in terms of us as young women having access to sexual and reproductive health rights as well as services in our different communities. Thank you.
Pretendo, thank you so much. Now, the ladies here are really anticipating to continue with their Zumba session. They're all geared up, but before we go back to the Zumba session, I'll call up Kenya Chifamba to give us a vote of thanks. It has really been a pleasure having everybody here as we, continue with this topic on shaking off gender-based violence through dance. Kenya, come up to the stage.
Thank you so much, Munashe. Allow me to appreciate you all who have taken time off your busy schedules on a Saturday when we're supposed to be resting and spending time with our families. But you decided to come and join us, the Civil Society Reference Group, together with the Spotlight Initiative, with the annual event that we have every year, where we are shaking off GBV through Zumba, leaving no one behind. I really like that today we also had our male counterparts who joined us on and off stage, and also Zorro, the well-renowned, who helped us, to shake off GBV, and also, like what Sungi rightfully said, contributing towards our mental health. I'm sure so many issues have been raised up by our different presenters, where they were talking about the gaps that are still in existence, the young women as well, giving us their voices, and also the challenges that they face. This helps us as well as the Spotlight Society Reference Group to ensure that in our planning, we also include that and shape our next programs that will be coming up. Let me thank our IPs who work so tirelessly to continue helping us as the Spotlight, that we continue to have our objectives and our outcomes being achieved out there through the hard work that they do. Our runners, for the support and the resources that they invest to ensure that we continuously work so hard to end GBV in our different spaces. Allow me as well to thank the Civil Society Reference Group for the great work that they have put in to ensure that this event becomes a success, to our presenters, to also ZTN for the great work that you're always doing to ensure that annual event becomes successful. Also to EU and UN, our communications focal person, Ruvimbo, who has been helping us all these years to carry out this particular event. As we will be celebrating Mother's Day tomorrow, I am saying to all the women out there, we are special. Let's wear our different hats with excitement, knowing that we are important, knowing that we are a rare species as mothers, as daughters, as daughter-in-laws, as friends, as CEOs at our companies. Let's wear those hats with pride. And we are saying that, remember, we are leaving no one behind. We all have a role to play within the communities that we are in, as decision makers, as traditional leaders, as religious leaders, as the men and the boys, and of course the women and the girls taking the lead. This is not a race. The reason why we continue to do this is we want to ensure that we create equal spaces, equal opportunities, we have equal resources, and we promote gender equality. Thank you once again for all the support, and let's continue shaking off GBV, and don't be left out. So we're waiting for Zorro now. I'm sure this time I'm going to get the steps right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kenya. Thank you so much. Now, I'm sure everything has been said. I won't water down any of the presentations made by the ladies. So as we prepare for the next Zumba segment, I'll ask the ladies to come to the stage and take their positions. As the ladies come up, remember this program was brought to you by Zimba Television Network in partnership with UN Women Spotlight Initiative and Civil Society Reference Groups. Ladies, please do come to the stage. Up next is the next segment with Zorro.
anachukua anaweka wa le général Dangote anachukua anaweka wa le anachukua anaweka wa last one anachukua anaweka wa karamu kupendwa nawe karamu nasikia tamu kupendwa nawe tamu kupendwa nawe tamu kupendwa nawe
Nice one. One more time. Check it out. Check it out. Stay here. Knock it up,
Chumbani enesi, unipatia panado, watenga za Messi, na mashuti ya Ronaldo yani, nalipigia tu, anachukua, anaweka, kwenye gari, anachukua, anaweka, iwe jikoni ovana, anachukua, anaweka, doze, anachukua, anaweka, kanipate salama joto, tuale soni pepe, oya kongo simoto,
It's the best. Let's go.
oya mose kuna pepe, Ricardo Mongo pepe, oya mama Dangote pepe, ndo nifungwe
Chip up.
chu chipepe, chu chipepe, chu chipepe, chu
Push. Keep it. Push.
Papa no be my year. Papa no be my year. Papa no be my year. Papa no be my
Take it up. One leg. Sit up. Left leg. Give me my leg. Ekania, where's that smile? What are you talking? Hear you. Mati. Nobody. Three.
Usiniguse, usinitaje, tusalimiane kwa miguu. Usiniguse, usinitaje, tusalimiane kwa miguu. Wanasema usiniguse, usinitaje, salamu iwe kwa miguu. Usiniguse, usinitaje, tusalimiane kwa miguu. Kwanza karibani, corona.
Some sort of a sight.
Kwanza kuna ogopa, corona.
Usana musika.
Corona. Tena vaa maski, corona.
2 metres.
Corona. Mikono ya kokosha, corona.
Del Vigo. Saint-James.
Titi Stone Night.
I'm here. Check it out.
The boss.
Look.
Parler de nos villes.
Lower.
Parler de nos fortunes. Yeah, mon père, mon côté.
Side. Idiot. Waste management. Kokunyara. What are you talking? DJ, give me another song. Yes.
Ndakawona muchibudosia ndinza unangana bonzi
Give me that squad.
sendekera usatora nguva
Let's take it basic.
imamuvasira ukabata usareke
What? Big up JP. What are you talking? Madam Soro, give me that spot. Sharp. Give me that spot. Sharp. Give me that spot. Sharp. One more time. Step here. Knee up. Step back. Knee up. Check it out. Go low. Madam Soro. Watch I come. Squat. Stop. Good. One more time. Stay here. But I'm sorry. Move it. Stay down. Enough. Breathe in and out. Nice one. Stay here. Single double. Back to chorus. Tish. Two more. One more. Vabbè moyo. Avanti così. Kuda di choreograph. Patati pata. Acha. Give me a squat. One more time. And you're the last one. Listen. What are you talking? DJ Chimwe man. Simple routine ever. I'm saying. One of two. Stay with me. Stay here. Crisscross. Up. Tap. Stay. I'm saying.
I know you're looking at me.
Be safe.
You know I'm waiting for you. I know you're looking at me.
Lock it up. Take it down. Take it down. Stay here. What are you talking?
Come on, get everyday. Yo, why you be there? Yo, best everyday. DJ le mix le beat. Et quand va le hit. Gogo doji va le vibre. So, get away. I know you're looking at me. You know I'm waiting for you. I know you're looking at me.
Look up. Take it down. Look it up. If you are still wearing a jersey in this workout,
So, get away. I know you're looking at me. You know I'm waiting for you. I know you're looking at me.
watch. Tiba. Oh. I'm going to another move again. Arms out. One paper saying my way. My way. Yahweh. Yahweh. My way.
I know you're looking at me. You know I'm waiting for you. I know you're looking at me.
Chep. What are you talking? Hey, you need to stretch. Everyone on stage, including the cameraman, you also need to stretch your arms for holding the camera. And I'm just joking. Guys, let's stretch. Let's stretch. You might need it, you don't know. Watch out. I'm going to teach you a simple dance.
Hey, Mr. Brown.
Even if you are there, just do this.
You want to make something sick.
I see you. You are not doing it. You are not doing it. Now hold your wheelbarrow. Hold your wheelbarrow. Now not the head.
I don't mean makes you worry. I don't want you worry. I don't want to make
Travel.
Lord of mercy.
Nice one.
Did you drive on my slope?
Hold it here.
Lord of mercy. Societally gone. Screenshot the gunshot. Screenshot the gunshot.
Hello.
Baby, you turn up to now we're going to be on your side.
Switch.
Hello, baby. You turn up to now we're going to be on your side.
Don't fall, please. And not please. Go low, stay here with me. If you can get low, you can go with Michelle. Nice one. Now give me the lunge. Make sure your back is straight. Nice one. Alright, bring in on your toes. Touch the ceiling. Take it to your right.
Did you neck a laptop? Did you drive on my slump? Transport Papa stop. Lord of mercy. Societally gone. Screenshot the gunshot.
Screenshot the gunshot.
Hello, baby. You turn up to now we're going to be
When Ashley ran away, she was just talking. And then she decided to run away from the Zumba. Breathing it out. When Ashley see me after class, position.
Caution Java Records.
Hey, now switch. Conquer. Yeah, it's my sick one. It's different. Sit. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was a wonderful class. What are you talking? Don't forget to follow Zoro Trend. Not Zumba with Zoro. Zoro Trend. We are Zoro Trend. Zimbabwean brand. What are you talking? This is what we do. See you next time. Popo.